where that hostility really came from, why it took so long to end hostility and beginning a new era between